going double band to YouTube, manual double streaming. I do have music playing on the background. I'm not using headphones because this is IRL now, you know. This is real life. I don't feel like, you know, doing the whole professional broadcaster thing anymore. It's just not worth it. Currently what is playing is Soil Work. I am not necessarily sure if this is what would have been playing, but I need to do something right now. And oof. Okay, so setting this up was actually much more hassle than I thought it would be. Droid Cam. What's it called? Yeah, it is called Droid Cam. The application for turning your phone into a webcam just did not want to connect randomly. I absolutely love it when it does it. Sometimes it quite literally, very Steve Jobs-like, just works, and other time it's like no matter what you do, it just does not connect until you like reboot everything, and then it just pop, connects again. I fucking hate that part of that technology. So this whole setup is not quite as plug and go as I would have hoped to begin with. Exposure inside the Droid Cam, by the way, is completely not the same value it actually transmits. Because you can see that the lamp there in the corner is completely, totally overexposed. It's because, yeah, like on the phone it actually looks fine, but on the computer, like, I don't know, maybe something is wrong with my monitor. My monitors are pretty dark, like gamma / contrast wise. So maybe that's the thing. They're not HDR, but I keep them like very. It's like I've been this way since fucking forever ago, really. My monitors are optimized to work in like dark rooms, and although my room is now rarely completely dark, yeah, when I was a kid, my room was always just like I did not have any sources of light other than the monitor. It's just the old habit of, you know, old TVs, CRT TVs being so bright. There's basically just one giant bulb in the middle of your living room, right? Yeah, CRT TVs like developed this thing where it's like it's totally fine to just sit in complete darkness. So yeah, like I always optimize my monitors for low light. That's why I can never fucking see shit when there's sun outside. But, yeah. So they're rather dark. So maybe that's the problem. I don't know, man. Like, Inian could not be seen at all. Inian could not be seen at all. With the exposure values that were totally fine, just like, you know, middle of the road values. On the app itself, totally fine, but the signal that gets transmitted, you couldn't see anything. Yeah, how should I, what's, gosh, can I even say that in the United States? The black point was just way too high or low. What's the actual value would be for what I'm trying to describe? Would it be a low value or a high value? I don't know. The black point was too black, okay? And there I already hear sirens. Okay, anyway, so yeah, this setup is not quite as plug and go as I had hoped, but also I did have a few technical difficulties that I just was not anticipating. Yeah, I mean, still, you know, I need to put the tripod down and all of that shite. And I am working on something, though, right now. I am doing those videos for you guys, the visualizers. Well, they aren't actually visualizers. One of them could be considered a visualizer, but actually it's just a live recording of me, you know, playing with the synthesizers. I specifically said playing with the synthesizers rather than playing synthesizers because that's what we do. I'm not sure if my internet can actually handle all this double streaming, because the quality should be rather low. But since the camera doesn't move at all, I don't even know what kind of bitrate I can get away with. Because since the camera doesn't move at all and Inian barely moves, he's very busy right now, as you can see. I'm actually sitting, like I'm facing, my back is facing him, so I cannot, have both of us in the frame at the same time. I cannot have him like on my lap or anything like that. Although he would technically fit, I cannot have him there. Sorry. So it's either me or him, and I think him is much more interesting than me. So yeah. And what I do on the monitor also, like I cannot like stream what I have on the monitor. Like it's just stream capture is not an option right now. That's just, yeah, my computer would fucking explode. It probably will already be exploding just from this. Anyway, so let me triple check again, actually. I don't know, what the fuck have I done with the compressor here? I mean, it's compressing a little bit. Quite a bit, in fact. Maybe it's a bit too much. I am purposely, I don't know. Maybe it's testing. Yeah, if I raise my voice. What the fuck? What did I just, keep forgetting. Not every single keyboard here actually works. I have quite a bit of setup in front of me. Yeah. If I were to yell, I am not using gating because music is playing on the background. In fact, I may, nah, it's pretty okay. Can I turn it up a little bit? I may. Because I am just, I'm not sitting in silence, and also I'm not using headphones because it's just, not super optimal for me right now. I'm doing things, and this is just me rambling. I'm not even thinking, I'm just saying things on autopilot, man. I don't have any chats open in front of me. When I am done with this leg of the project, I will have chats open if I keep doing this. I will keep looking at the chat. I always have chats open when I do desktop. When I do desktop, I do it properly. But right now, this is just IRL. Hence the the screen orientation, the stream, whatever, how you call it, screen ratio. I am preparing myself an energy drink right now. That's what you're hearing in case you hear. What's playing currently is Soilwork, because it actually is playing locally from my old phone. My old phone, in fact, not even my old phone. Yeah, I got a new phone. Well, I was given a new phone, rather. I was literally, it was forced upon me. I'm grateful. I mean, it's a good phone. I don't appreciate the fact that Samsung's new operating system makes certain things just not work as good. The notification center is different, and it's way worse than it used to be. You no longer get this like widget in the notification thing that shows you the like if any media is playing right now, and if multiple apps are playing media, it will literally allow you to swipe around, and see all of them, actually, that are currently playing. It was so fucking useful. Now you need to swipe down, you get notification center, you need to swipe down again, and then it'll give you the portion of the screen that shows shows the current media being played, and it only shows the last one. So now if multiple apps are playing media, like for example, if I'm listening to a podcast but also want to have music on the background, impossible. It will only show you the last one that started playing video. So yeah, fantastic. Thanks so much, Samsung. Like, I hate it so much when fucking companies do that. I mean, I do appreciate this phone is a little bit faster, absolutely. This phone is absolutely a little bit faster. It is much sleeker. Oof, much sleeker than what I used to have. I used to have Samsung S21 FE. That phone looked like a little bit above like a Chinese like budget, flagship killer from like 2015. It was all plastic. It was very kind of like cheaply rounded. It had this like cheap look of like a modern car almost. Like the pill form of a modern car, the characterless, the characterless form of a modern car. Yeah. So, yeah, no, this one is more interesting. Yeah, absolutely. I do appreciate that it's faster. I appreciate that it's way more stylish. But I do not like the fact that, okay, so half the widgets are now glitching out. And, like, the notification center is much worse. I no longer get my media playback. The multi-app media playback, I don't get at all. And now I get it in this, like, sub-menu of the notification center. Like, what the hell is this? Like, why do I want this? Like, I want how things used to be. Is this the coveted, like, Samsung One UI? I think my old phone did get One UI also, and it was never this bad. This is just, like, 3 steps back from what I used to have. Absolutely 3 steps back, guys. So, yeah, the company did, like, this phone is, technically speaking, it is better than how things used to be. Yes, but also... in practice, they're worse. Things are now glitching. And things now just like I don't even have certain things. Like Samsung was thinking, well, this is Android, so everyone is only going to be using one app at a time to play media anyway. I'll be back in a second. Just don't eat any of that, okay, Pupich? Don't eat the stuffing. Yeah. I mean, even if you do, it's okay. It's not like you'd be swallowing a giant piece of, sharp plastic. But it's better if you don't eat it. I know you most likely won't. But if it just so happens that, a piece gets just down enough your throat, you will just swallow it and, like, not give a fuck. Well, I do a little bit, okay? So please don't do it. Well, okay. It's pointless to be asking you to not do it. Try to not do it. Oh, and the reason I'm playing music from my phone, by the way, is because I have like turned everything off, on my working machine, so that to free up resources for this stream. Anyway, I don't remember what I was talking about. Yeah, old phone, good. New phone, like, I don't know, guys. Oh yeah, so Samsung themselves probably thought, who cares, multi-app playback. Yeah, guys, except you yourself, there is a native app in the Samsung store called Sound Assistant that allows you to enable multi-app playback. And in fact, you even get a bit of a app mixer, kind of like what you get in on Mac with Sound Source, which I'm a huge fan of Sound Source. Or Windows actually does that natively, and it does have a mixer, Linux too. Mac doesn't have a native app like that, but there is a third-party app that's absolutely phenomenal. You can literally insert audio unit plugins into that thing. It's insane how good that thing is. Okay. It's getting a little bit hot in here. Should probably open the window. Okay. Back to work. Now everything may collapse right now because I'm moving things around again. But yeah, did I explain that I'm not using gating, obviously, because music is playing. So if I used gating, it would constantly be, you know, like that, because of the music, you know, triggering the gate constantly. It probably sounds like trash, but I assume if anyone, you know, ever listens to this, you will be listening on like speakers anyway. So you will pretty much only hear my voice. The background noise will probably not be high enough in volume, you know, to be particularly audible. If it is, yeah, I do give you my apologies. Extend, rather, them in your general direction. If you drop frames by either connection or encoding overload, both of those will result in dropped frames. Both of those will trigger the dropped frames indicator, right? So far seems to be okay. Not sure what the quality be like. I don't know. Maybe let me double check. Can my system actually handle this? But yeah, since iNeon is hardly moving and the camera is not moving at all. Yeah, it's looking okay. Okay, so I did open the thing for a second. Okay, I see you guys in the chat. Hi guys, what's up? So chat does work even if I'm not in the chat. That's nice to know, because other streaming platforms, unless you're in the chat and someone says something, you open the chat, you're not gonna catch it. You know, you need to be in the chat to catch a message. Kick, I think, actually, when as a creator, when I log back into Kick, like, my chat is persistent. Like, if someone leaves me a message, I will see it even tomorrow. But I don't think that's how it's supposed to be, right? Because, like, when you open someone's stream, say it's a relatively big stream, and people have been chatting for, like, hours and hours, like, non-stop, full speed, like, the whole thing is not being loaded. Your browser doesn't load the whole thing. And even if you try to scroll up, even if somehow you can scroll faster than the chat progresses, like, you're not going to see the top. Like, it's not going to load the entire thing to you. I don't think it will. But anyway, maybe it will. Maybe something, I don't know. Okay, so towards the end of this thing, in about, I don't know, 40 minutes or so, I will try opening the whole thing and see if any of you ask any questions or whatever. So yeah, if you type something and something legit, something you want to connect over, absolutely, you know, I will take a look. I can hardly do it when I do IRL stream, of course, and desktop, though, I usually do have chats open, but not right now. Right now, I need every single resource of my computer. And I'm not even thinking, this is not a proper stream. This is not a proper podcast. So, yeah, I've been working on this LP, right, for quite some time. I kind of like pre-mixed it multiple weeks ago. I pre-mixed it before the New Year's, I think. Maybe even before Christmas. And then I thought that I'm gonna take this giant Christmas vacation and play all these video games. And I only played like 3. And I hated 2 of them. So, like, I could have played 5 or at least 4. And now I'm thinking, if I had played 4, I would have been so much more satisfied with my life. And I didn't get to play 4 because it's such a long game. I thought, okay, you know what? I'll just do it some other time. And it turned out that, well, I had access to a really powerful computer at that point. So I thought to myself, okay, I'm gonna... Because that game, like, on the lowest settings, it'll probably run on my old laptop. So I'll play it on my laptop because it's a really long game. Kingdom Come Deliverance 2, okay? I didn't play Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 because it's like 100 hours. You know, at least 60, maybe 80. So like F it, you know. I thought to myself, I'm going to do the only do things that I know I can finish, because Kingdom Come Deliverance, like, I'm probably, even if I played my entire like Christmas holiday, I'm just not gonna finish it. Like, it's probably not going to happen, because I was still working on my novel, and I was still working on LP a little bit, and now I'm putting together videos of all that stuff, which does take a little bit of processing power, both of my brain and my computer, because it's not particularly fast to render. You know, those are pretty long drones. Those are pretty... Woof, 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 woof. Woof. Yeah, yeah, woof. Woof. Oh, good. Oh, gee, babaji. Oh, gee, babaji, baji, babaji. Okay. Hi. Yeah. Moguji babaji. Anyway, whatever bullshit I was talking about. Yeah, so John has projects that no one cares about, but he keeps doing them anyway because it's the only thing that keeps him sane. I'm sorry. You know, I'm sorry for you having to witness all that. Actually, I'm not sorry, but in case, you know, in case you are actually trying to fucking decode what is it that I'm talking about in my novels and my music, and it just seems to you like gibberish and just like a waste of time on your end, it probably is. I do apologize for that factor, because it's quite possible that I'm just insane at this point and my ramblings mean nothing. They mean to me something, but it is quite possible that I'm just insane. And I do apologize if you're wasting your time trying to actually make sense of any of that. Yeah, that's it. So yeah, what I played. Haha. Okay, let's bitch about something that I don't really have to think in the least to talk about. So what I played, okay? So I played finally Uncharted 4. I think I even... yeah, I still did an IRL thing. By the way, the reason I no longer do IRL, because I switched phones, because I switched carriers, and my carrier, there is no reception. Remember that borderland where the farm land starts? There I have reception. There I can stream in that little foresty area. Yeah, but all the way from my house to there is no reception. So, yeah. Uncharted 4. About Uncharted 4, I did bitch about Uncharted 4 in the IRL thing. I think. I don't think I even mentioned once the other two. Uncharted 4, I was super unimpressed with Uncharted 4. I think the game looked very bland. It looked very uninspiring. Like, just... and it looked very grounded. And the thing is that... the thing about Uncharted is that many things about Uncharted could still be like, you can still have grounded graphics that are absolutely, like, mind-blowing. Like, the opening 15 minutes... including the stupid thing in the Peruvian village, by the way, of Tomb Raider, the Shadow of the Tomb Raider. Dude, the opening, not even 15 minutes, right? Because we have to include that whole, like, Peruvian village thing. It's like the opening hour, like, after the plane crash, dude, that little tiny piece of the jungle after the plane crash that the game makes you walk through. Okay, first of all, it is very obvious that the devs purposely put everything they had into that piece of jungle, because that's the opening of the game, which is a little bit shady of them to do that, because the rest of the game doesn't look even half as good. So that's the shady part. But dude, like, that opening portion of the jungle, That's some of the most impressive graphics I've ever seen. Like on both beautiful, and you can tell, oh fuck, like you wouldn't make something like that on PlayStation 3 most likely, even if you like tear your ass in half, like you're not going to get graphics like that on PS3. The rest of the game actually looks totally fine. Like I did finish it. That's one of the games I could talk about. So I played Shadow of the Tomb Raider finally. I played Uncharted 4 and I played Ninja Gaiden 4. Just I wasn't thinking, but yeah, Ninja Gaiden 4, Uncharted 4, interesting combination. Almost diagonally oppositely aligned games, right? Anyway, yeah. So Uncharted 4, I don't know, man. That game is just so bland. All the charisma, all the character was sucked out of every single character. Literally characterless characters. All the charisma, all the wit was sucked out of all the characters. We know why all the wit was sucked out. It's because, you know, Neil Druckmann and writers under Neil Druckmann are obviously pathologically just debilitatingly are afraid of writing anything that could be considered even remotely, you know, not nice. Not even saying like offensive or whatever the fuck. Like why would characters be afraid to offend each other? First of all, between friends, banter, like, yeah, absolutely. Offending each other is one of the things we do all the time. It's called fucking human interactions, right? But also, you know, there are characters like the heroes and the villains that like really hate each other. And there's nothing wrong about, you know, them saying something offensive to each other. Is that really that big of a taboo? Yeah, no, we cannot. So every single character is just like this very fake version of themselves that isn't even like overtly politically correct. It's not like Uncharted 4 is not woke really in any way. You know, that's not what I'm saying. I mean, yes, there is a giant muscular black woman that literally whoops ass of everyone. It takes two men just to debilitate her enough so that those two men can escape. You know, but it's just, who cares? You know, she's barely in the game, okay? And at no point, you know, the game does like the actual modern video game writing where the entire story stops, all the characters stop what they're doing, they look directly at the camera and give you a 15-minute long lecture on how you're supposed to think about things, right? No, at no point does the game do that. So no, Uncharted 4 is very obviously a Neil Druckmann game, i.e. it's a game completely devoid of any kind of passion, any kind of joy experienced by anyone on the screen ever, even at least a little bit. It's just a game that had all life sucked out of it, and it, you know, a story. It had everything humane, everything alive. Yeah, just completely taken out of it, and strangely enough, the characters, that doesn't stop the characters from still being animated. So everyone just comes across as this like husk of a human being, as this like animated golem, you know, that just we just keep doing things because the script says so. You know, the script says I have to walk down that hallway and then have a shootout. The script says I gotta go to Madagascar, you know, and look for such and such. And it's like, but if you don't want to go to Madagascar, you know, to look for shit, then how am I supposed to get excited? And like, Neil Druckmann doesn't care, right? Neil Druckmann says, this is how things should be. I didn't particularly care about how, you know, the game has like muted color gamut and whatever the fuck. Like, I didn't really care that much about all that. Like, yeah, the game doesn't look as good as previous Uncharted games. It looks much more dead. Graphically, the game, by the way, doesn't look mind-blowing. No, it was very obviously... The graphics of Uncharted 4 were very obviously made for PlayStation 4 to push it as far as they can in the specific things that... Like, whatever the fuck is in your face, yeah, that looks amazing. But they were pushing the living hell out of PlayStation 4, and it was made to also run at 30 FPS and, like, 40-degree FOV. It even has the stupid barrel distortion effect, just so that it looks like there's a little bit of the FOV distortion happening, despite the FOV being low, but there is the FOV-ish distortion. It's called barrel distortion, just so that people think that there is such a thing as the field of view in this game. You can turn it all off with mods, but you have to unless the game is fucked. Also, the game is so blurry. Like, that alone, I should say, Uncharted 4 graphics are terrible because you have to mod that game to even play it. The fucking temporal AA in that game is so aggressive, you cannot see shit. It's like playing Monster Hunter 4 on 3DS. It is so blurry, it makes you feel like you need glasses. It trips my eyes into it makes them keep trying to refocus because my eyes keep thinking that, shit's out of focus. It was like literally, it actually gave me migraine. And it took me a little while to even realize what was happening. And I was like, no, this is just way too much. And then the game still fucking, by the way, looks blurry because it has this like bloom effect for every single light source. And that bloom, like wherever that light source hits the geometry, is just so blurred out. It really looks bad. I mean, yeah, I'm sure at 720p, 30 FPS on PS4, it probably looked okay. It probably, wow, look at the detail. But playing on high-resolution monitor that's right in front of you, the blurriness of that game literally gave me a headache. Like, it's just, no, fuck those graphics. Fuck Uncharted 4 for the, but it's graphical. No, that's not a graphical achievement. No, it's not. The graphics are actually shit. In terms of the whole... See, the compressor is going absolutely insane, I'm going to tone it down even a little bit more. Okay, now there's almost no compression. Okay, well, that's what you get for not properly using, not using the microphone properly. So, yeah, fuck Uncharted 4. I hated the graphics, and I hated my time with the game also. I played on Crushing, and no one should ever play that game on Crushing, because on Crushing, stealth basically doesn't work. Stealth doesn't work, and literally half the mechanics of the game don't work at all. The game is clearly designed around the idea that you'll be tanking quite a lot of the damage. Otherwise, like, a lot of the encounters are just incompletable. There are all these ropes you are expected to swing on, all that shit to use on those, like, battle arenas. And, yeah, you cannot use any of those on Crushing. You swing on the rope, you're dead, So, yeah, you are expected to play on the journalist difficulty setting. Well, not journalist difficulty setting in that game is, it's a modern American game. So when you play on the easiest difficulty, it's not actually even a difficulty. It's just it's just a god mode. You're nearly invincible. You need to be standing under direct fire for a whole minute for the screen to even, go a little bit black and white. Well, not literally, but you probably need to be standing in the open, taking fire for about maybe a minute. Sorry, dog's freaking out downstairs because there's a puppy now in the house, and, the other dog is very jealous. Yeah, so absolutely do not play that game on Crushing. It's actually a rather okay third-person cover shooter, like all things considered. The question, though, Do you need another third-person cover shooter? Like, I don't think you do. I didn't need it. And it was very basic too. Like, if I were to play a third-person cover shooter, I would play something that's like actually good, or something actually original. I mean, Vanquish is not really a cover shooter, but it has cover shooter mechanic, I heard some people call it a third-person shooter. Actually, believe it or not, I did hear some people call it that. So yeah, I don't know what's going on. I don't know. I don't understand. I definitely would not have enjoyed that game more in whenever it came out, like 2016, right? I would not have enjoyed that game more in 2016 because, the graphics though, for 2016, mind-blowing, duh. No, I don't care. In 2016, we already had Bloodborne. I would have been playing that, and I was. So, yeah. I am super, super surprised by Uncharted 4. It's borderline not a game. There's hardly any of the game in it. I would have enjoyed it more, yes, if I played on the normal difficulty, but the game does not communicate in any way that it's going to be broken on crushing. But then, yeah, you actually play it on crushing and the game is broken, but until you are nearly done with the game, I would say like the last couple of chapters is where the whole, like, you literally start hitting the wall, like, shit's just not working. I just cannot progress. Like, I just get one-shotted behind this corner all the time. Like, how do I do? How do? Right? You don't know. I don't know. No one knows. You don't. So, yeah. By then, I did switch, and I discovered that the game is actually much more enjoyable if you play it on the normie difficulty, but I mean, I do appreciate the challenge element. I wish you didn't have it if you weren't going to make the game. If you weren't going to make it work, then just don't make it. As for the story, yeah, the graphics, I'll just say, there's nothing, like, it's graphics, okay? So, whatever. As for like the story and whatnot, the story is just absolute fucking trash and has nothing to do with any of the Uncharted games. It retcons like half the things again. We have this whole Sam character who's voiced by Bloy Breaker, by the way. Like, do you really want to listen to that fucking asshole blabbing in your ear the entire game? I'm so fucking tired of that dude. Like, he cannot act. Like, he cannot act. Like, Troy Baker doesn't act. He just talks in the Troy Baker voice. And he has a really good, like, radio voice. He has a voice to read, like, radio, whatever, like advertisements, like ad reads on radio. Yeah, he has really good voice for that. But, like, the kind of voice I'm talking about. The, like, infomercial radio stuff. Those people aren't actors, who do that shit. No one would expect them. Oh, you read, like, ads on radio? Can you voice act for me, please? Like, most people probably aren't fucking actors. Like, and in video games like that, you basically need to be a professional actor, right? Because it's, like... It's like a literally 25-hour-long movie, the whole experience. It's not just like some line here and there, or it's a goofy RPG where you play this one character, and the character has like 20 lines. Well, even if it's 25 lines, okay? No, in a game like that, it's Troy Baker constantly in your ear, constantly telling you something for 20 hours. Like, that's... Like, yeah, it's something you need an actor for, okay? You cannot just get someone with an interesting voice to read the lines of a quirky character in an RPG that you're gonna, interact with for, 10 minutes. No, like, this is way bigger. Also, unlike previous Uncharted games, Uncharted 4 goes absolutely into a panic mode if it realizes that you are by yourself, that you are alone. It cannot have you be alone, like, at all. I mean, you were alone periodically. Sorry, alone. You were in company of never shutting up companions in the previous games also, but there were also times when you were alone. I would probably say at least around 50% of the time in the first game you were alone. And across all three of them, you were probably 40 to 60% of the time you were by yourself. Yep. Okay, cool. The hell is my Oxbacher? Okay, there it is. In Uncharted 4, you are never alone. That game is just fatally fucking afraid of you having alone, of you not having a companion who's going to talk your ear off. And it gets old. Oh, it gets so old. You wouldn't fucking believe. Another thing is that they learned absolutely nothing from Uncharted 3. Which is like, Uncharted 3 was basically this. If you don't know, Uncharted 3 was this random abomination that was never supposed to exist anyway. They literally took ideas for set pieces from the, what we call the, like, scraps from the cutting room floor. And they kind of designed together, they stringed together what could be considered a video game experience. Like, hey, you know, we actually have enough here for a whole other game. And they wrote a game around those basically pre-made, like, prefabs, you know, prefab scenes, entire scenes. They already existed, you know, like, were mostly animated, mostly already scripted and shit. And they just put, like, some voice lines into there, you know, made a few new animations, maybe, like, you know, put some, like, you know, made graphics more consistent, obviously, you know, made a few assets here and there, and called it a day, called it Uncharted 3. I mean, obviously, quite a bit of effort went into the whole thing, but, like, the moral, you know, with Uncharted 3 was that the game was never supposed to exist. And, although those, I mean, some of those, what do you call it? God damn it. Sorry, I'm trying to think of multiple things at the same time. What's the name for it? Whatever, highly scripted cinematic sequences. You know what I'm talking about. Some of those were pretty alright. But when you just have a collection of completely random ones and then try to write a game around it, the final result may not be quite as good as something that was, you know, purpose, you know, custom made for whatever, you know, you need, that is a properly written story and a properly written, you know, adventure, properly paced and structured adventure. So Uncharted 3 was just this very tonally inconsistent, constantly jumping maps, constantly jumping around the world, jumping settings, jumping everything, you know, tones, characters, genres, you know, everything was just constantly jumping. And you arrived at this thing that was just so poorly paced. I mean, I have this controversial opinion that Uncharted 2 was actually poorly paced, because Uncharted 2 had certain combat sequences in Uncharted 2 went for like literally hour plus. You were just shooting. And you were shooting these insane guys in this just like giant impenetrable armor, and they were just coming from all directions. You were literally taking on a whole army in Uncharted 2. Uncharted 2 was insane. Like, the amount of action in that game was insane in a worst way. Like, I think Uncharted 2 was just so ludonarratively dissonant. It was just ridiculous. It was parody. style, almost. Not almost. It was just like, what the hell is this? This is just stupid, you know? At this point, this is stupid, guys. And then, in Uncharted 2, you had giant stretches of doing literally nothing but just walking in a straight line, you know, i.e. Uncharted platforming. I remember this one giant stretch of platforming on your way to Shambhala, where you were in some kind of like ice cavern, or at one point at least in that stretch, you enter an ice cavern of a kind. And oh, dude, I hated that section so much because it's literally, I think it's over an hour of Uncharted platforming, and you by yourself also, there's hardly any dialogue, hardly any monologue. You're just jumping around that stupid ice cavern. That's not even an ice cavern. It's like a iced over portion of some kind of cathedral, I believe. It was so boring. I played through Uncharted 2 twice, I believe. Maybe even 2.5 times, maybe. Yeah. Because I did finish it on Crushing, and I had so little fun. I had so much fun with Uncharted 1. Uncharted 1, I finished on Crushing. I had so much fun breaking that game so that I could actually complete it on Crashing. It was a really interesting challenge. Uncharted 2, with its over-the-top, just way gotten out of hand, whatchamacallit, like cover shooting action, you know? Oof. No, dude, I hated it so much. And I mean, not on principle. It's just playing it. It gets so boring eventually. It's just way too much of the same stupid thing. So yeah, I did all that. Had all kinds of fun with it. But Uncharted 3 was... I mean, Uncharted 3 had so many low points for me also. Like I said, pacing in Uncharted 3... Uncharted 2 had bad pacing. Uncharted 3 just didn't have it. Uncharted 3 was literally just a random collection of random shit. Like, that's it. That was the entire game. But there was one scene in particular, and I think if you played Uncharted 3, let alone multiple times... because I did play Uncharted 3 multiple times because I couldn't believe. Like, I was not a particularly giant fan of Uncharted 2 to begin with, but 3, I was just like, there's no soul in this game. How could this be? Because I was such a giant fan of Uncharted 1. I am, to this day. I like Uncharted 1 to this day. So I played through Uncharted 3 again, just like hoping to find that thing that I was missing that I couldn't find on my first playthrough, you know? And I couldn't find it. Like, there's no soul in Uncharted 3, zero. But there's one section in particular, and if you played Uncharted 3, you know what you know the one. The fucking ship graveyard area. That's just like suicidal area. If you were to force me to play that shit right now, I might even to a certain degree pay you so that I don't have to. It's so bad. Yeah. So anyway, what I was talking about, right, was that Uncharted 3 was this game that was constantly jumping, you know. Oh, now we're gonna have a flash forward. Well, flash forward, obviously. You know, the game opened with that, I believe, because every single Uncharted opens with a flash forward. Even 4 opens with a flash forward. So that's understandable. But an even bigger thing, though, which absolutely blew my mind, was that they did everything else about Uncharted 3 again in Uncharted 4. And I thought, okay, I know for a fact that almost nobody liked Uncharted 3. Also, in Uncharted 3, they made a completely different like aiming system. They made it so... basically, they fixed it later. They fixed it later, but they gave Drake a completely different acceleration value for aiming. So just aiming in the first place just felt really weird in Uncharted 3. But also, they made it so that Drake was just shooting wherever. Like, basically, you had bloom and you had spread before you even shot the first bullet. Yep. In Uncharted 2 and 1... your first bullet always went where you were aiming. And then you had a little bit of spread, even with pistols, yes. In Uncharted 3, they made it so that there is always a spread. So you would literally sometimes aim at the head and you shoot, and then the whole thing just doesn't connect. And I felt like, by the way, in Uncharted 4, the same thing happened to me quite a few times also. I would aim to the head. With certain weapons, with rifles, it happened to me multiple times. I aimed to the head, I shot, and it went like slightly to the side. Like, what the hell just happened? How is that possible? Maybe like bullets are supposed to have bullets. Maybe instead of hit registration being helped, you being helped with hit registration, what happens is the bullets are magnetized, and it just got magnetized away. Something about the the game running at higher frame rate, because yeah, I did run it at higher frame rate than 60 FPS. Because it's a relatively older game, and I had a monster of a gaming computer. So yeah, maybe something to do with the algorithm of magnetization for bullets. Never happened with pistols. Yeah, with pistols, I landed some headshots from like a literal, like the entire length of the map. But no, never with the stupid thing. Well, rarer with rifles for some reason. So another thing that I should, by the way, note is that when the game gives you the option, when a shooting gallery starts and you are already being shot at, obviously just shoot back. That's what the game expects of you. But if any kind of area, very obviously designed for a shooting encounter, starts you with a little bit of a solid snake position. Like the game suggests that maybe you should sneak around a little bit. You should always do it. In fact, you need to take it as far as you can, preferably all the way to winning the entire encounter stealthily, if you play in higher difficulty at least, especially. And by the way, by higher difficulty, I mean I could not notice any difference between crushing and hard. So if you're playing on hard, you should do it too. Early in the game, I discovered that if the game gives you a stealth option, and instead maybe you kill a couple of enemies stealthily, or maybe you decide, what's the point? I'm just gonna headshot that guy, and I can quickly headshot like 3 people. So after that, I would go into the shooting mode anyway, so I might as well just start shooting. I'll just quickly headshot those guys before they can do anything. No, never do. When you open loud, loud and loudly, okay, in Uncharted 4, I don't know. Maybe it's just a crushing problem. Maybe it isn't. I don't know, and I don't care to test it or anything. But I was in a situation where literally just waves and waves and waves and waves and waves of enemies will be coming to you, spamming themselves, spawning behind geometry, just coming at you constantly, non-stop. I fucking killed dozens, just displaying such a Doom Eternal skill you wouldn't even know, and they would just never stop coming. And I ended up losing. And then eventually, it was the one where... remember the graveyard bullshit in Scotland? Yeah, that encounter. I just couldn't win it by shooting. And then I decided, okay, well, can I actually stealth through it? I kid you not, I tried 40 or 50 fucking times I reloaded. I couldn't do it on crushing. So I reloaded it. Because... your starting position in that encounter is so bad, I decided I'm just gonna shoot my way through this. I don't even want to try stealthing through this. And the whole thing with rudimentary stealth mechanics in Uncharted 4, by the way, is so fucking pathetic. If you're going to... you couldn't even try doing something like what Tomb Raider has already been doing. You couldn't even try. So fucking cheap, guys. So cheap. And again, The Last of Us had more meaningful stealth mechanics. And also, The Last of Us had all those mechanics with, picking stuff up and crafting things, you know, so exploration was much more meaningful. What are you exploring for in Uncharted 4? Literally nothing. It's just so dumb, man. Like, that game is such a downgrade for everything. But anyway, that encounter in Uncharted 4, I couldn't do it. I couldn't do it. I gave up. I realized that, okay, I suppose let's try stealthing it then again. I didn't want to stealth it purposely. I didn't want to stealth it. I wanted to do it because, you know, it seems like I am given the option. Seems like no. Though I was not being given an option. If you stealth it, like, the game literally starts you with maybe like 8 enemies in that entire area patrolling. And if you kill them all, that's it. You win the encounter. That's it. No one else spawn. If you start loud, I kid you not, dozens and dozens and dozens of more will appear, or rather, they will keep spawning behind geometry, like behind your back, in front of you, to the side, everywhere. If you just stealth kill those 8 guys, like, that's it. That's the end of the encounter. Like, what the actual hell? Like, you cannot be punishing me for going loud that hard. Because simultaneously, when the game forces you into a shootout, there's like 5 enemies in front of you, you know, and the game goes, oh no, there's 5 enemies, they see you, you have to shoot them. Okay, boom, 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 cool, dead. But when you're actually given a choice and you're making the choice, the game's like, no, that was not a choice, that was a stealth section, bitch. You go and do it properly. It's like, fuck you, Neil Druckmann. Like, for real. By then, two Tomb Raider trauma, emotional trauma Tomb Raider games were out. I don't even know how many fucking Far Cries since 3 have been out at that point. In fact, I know. Far Cry 4 was out. Anyway, like, you couldn't give me just the option? For fuck's sake, Neil. Wow. Anyway, so that's one game I talked about. Now, I actually did play Shadow of the Tomb Raider, and I was initially very impressed with the game. Like, the opening couple of hours, absolutely insane graphics, first of all. Sorry, moving some things around on the desk. Absolutely insane graphics, first of all, right? However, oh wow, no, this could be a little bit loud for me to talk over. But then once the game actually opens properly, I immediately felt... Oh, Poopich. What? Am I boring you? I'm like 70% done with this broadcast. Or like what? Is the light bothering you? I mean, I could turn the lights off, I suppose, but... Like, you're not gonna have much of a stream without those lights. I mean, I suppose... Yeah. Is this better, Pooch? Yeah. Oof, anyway. So, fun times, okay? I immediately noticed something wrong. I felt something wrong. The game just wasn't quite there. Something about it felt off. And as I kept playing, I like, it never clicked the same way the second game does. It never did. It felt extremely generic. The setting felt extremely generic. Also didn't help that, you know, the quality of the graphics went from absolutely mind-blowing of the first, like, opening maybe 90 minutes of the game. It went all the way down to, like, passable. Passable and predictable. But still, even when, by the way, even when Shadow of the Tomb Raider is, like, passable, dude, the way they did jungles, like, Shadow of the Tomb Raider runs circles around Uncharted 4. Uncharted 4's jungle is just embarrassing to begin with, but compared to Shadow of the Tomb Raider, it's just like, why did you guys even bother? You obviously did not care. Anyway, so we did what we did, right? We finished the game, me and Ainian. But no, seriously though, I did finish it. I did force myself to finish it, but oof, it was rough. The stupid fucking hub area was just absolutely idiotic. Like, why would you want to have this hub, this giant village that has absolutely nothing in it other than infinitely respawning collectibles and crafting materials? Oh, ain't that fucking fun? Yeah, go explore the village for procedurally generating and regenerating loot. Like, oh yeah, that's why I so want to explore it, guys. I did explore it, okay? And yeah, it was a complete waste of time, and it felt like a complete waste of time because it was one. So I was not happy about it. And also, like, the game starts, I didn't necessarily mind the whole, like, angle with, you know, Lara's parents and her past are playing this giant role in the game. I did not necessarily mind it, but the tonal whiplash that the game gives you all the time, like, at one point, Lara becomes literal Neo / Rambo. She rises from, like, a puddle of dirt, looking like she's going to kill someone, and she does. Looking like she's about to destroy everyone, and she does, covered in dirt and blood, and it's just like, and she goes like full Rambo on everyone. She literally activates fucking Spartan Rage. Like, what the fuck am I even playing? Like, this is, like, is this supposed to be some kind of meta commentary on, like, you know, like, her arc being complete? Like, she started the first game being this inexperienced. Yeah, like, inexperienced. It's like Jason Brody was fucking inexperienced. You know, Jason Brody was experienced in literally everything but shooting the gun. You know, he basically had like a super agent training by the time Far Cry 3 started. He just wasn't quite as crazy, and he didn't know how to shoot a gun properly. Other than that, Jason Brody was like a adrenaline junkie. He knew how to do everything. You know, how to ride every single motor vehicle, how to, you know, ride every single like thing you can think of, you know. And Lara, at the start of the first game, like, yeah, obviously not. She had her, like, royal advisor / like personal trainer who trained her to do literally everything, including killing the fuck out of people. She just didn't get to do it yet, but she was like totally fucking prepared, you know, for the first trauma game. A počípač? I think the camera literally went to sleep because you weren't moving for so long. So it had to wake up a little bit when you started moving, Pupic. Because it didn't show any dropped frames, but it definitely, the connection just froze because nothing was moving in the frame for so long. Okay, anyway. So yeah, like tonally, the third game is so weird because you go from me mom though, me parents said, look at my giant mansion in which I'm living. Me parents said, oh, I'm Lara Croft. Me parents dead. Oh, I'm so sad. Look at my life. My life is so sad. Like, yeah, bitch. So difficult to be you. Yeah, oof, look at your life. Look at your struggles. And then you go from that into being a literal punisher. And then, like, you go from that to suddenly being like a Greenpeace activist. Suddenly, like, this Wupudututupu tribe and preserving their ways is like the most important thing in the universe, for which Lara is totally ready and happy to like kill people, see the world destroyed, all that. Like, ooh, these natives are basically saints. We like have to drop everything to help these natives. I must be on some kind of personal mission, and the fate of the world might be some, in one way or the other, on the scale of all this this whole operation. But definitely need to help the natives to, make sure their water supply is clean and whatnot. What? Like, what am I doing? So yeah, the game like suddenly goes into this very obsessive, very fetishistic, like this obsession with the what's the term for it? Like the noble, like, native people, because they aren't corrupted by smartphones. They are so much better than all of us. Yeah, I don't pay much attention to all that human sacrifice and stuff like that. That's just the bad cult inside of our society is just doing it. And it's merely like, 50% of our society is totally okay with it, and the other 50% don't really care all that much. But yeah, we're just like, those guys are so much just better people, than us Westerners. And it's like fucking Pocahontas, and Avatar all over again. Like, why did the writers think they were being really deep and sophisticated when coming up with that part of the narrative? I mean, you can have that part of the narrative happening. Like, I don't have anything against those natives, but do we have to drop everything for Lara to do her like lesbian fucking romance with the queen of the natives? Like, it's like, and it's not just lesbian romance. Like, I'm good with lesbian romances. In fact, I think I'm a huge fan of those. But like, Lara, you are not a native, and the whole thing with like the fucking costumes. Like, that literally is such just a bullshit thing where the whole thing just becomes a self-insert, like female fantasy of like, well, not even female, it's like feminine thing where, oh, those natives though, they're like so important, right? It's like, let's go to distant parts of the world and talk to natives. They surely will not eat us. They're all good people. They're better than us because they're not Westerners with smartphones, right? Let's go and meet those people. They surely will be so fun. I like meeting people. Meeting new people is not dangerous at all. So, it's a very feminine type of fantasy where, yeah, you go and meet those, Peruvian or Mayan, Incan, whatever the fuck they're supposed to be, like natives, who are like all very nice people. They're very sophisticated. they're very fucking everything, you know, that you aren't apparently, and you need to really respect them, dude. And I'm like, yeah, I do respect them. Can we get back to the plot? No, 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 no. The plot needs to be paused because we are now no longer doing the plot. We are exploring the native village. Like, what the fuck kind of pacing is that? So yeah, I have no idea what they were trying to do with the third game, honestly. The first one was a very linear game, a very linear narrative with these like fake... Annie, what the fuck is wrong with you? Seriously. Like these like fake little tiny open world exploratory segments, right? But it was an okay linear game otherwise, you know. The second one was basically this like Metroidvania with a Far Cry style gameplay, and I loved it. And I feel like most people did. Okay, there's obviously something in his nose. There's obviously obviously some kind of hair or something. What's in your nose? Show it to me. Well, I'm not seeing anything. So what are you? Is the window? I can close the window, but hardly anything coming from the window. Oh. Oiny. What the fuck is wrong with you? Come on, look at me again. What's in it? Okay, I have no idea. Sorry, I hit the camera because it would... what the fuck? Why did it change the zoom value? What the fuck? Why did it change the zoom value? It was about 1.5, I think? Oh, it reset everything. What the fuck? Ah, it's because I have this bullshit. Deactivate when not in use. Yep. Okay, so I'm not going to, or maybe I will. Fuck it. Anyway, dude, like, you gotta figure it out. There's nothing in his nose. I looked with the flashlight. So whatever, dude. You gotta figure it out. I turned the camera off because I had to go doggy style in the lower, position of it. So I didn't want to present my ass. I'm not currently streaming to the platforms where that would be appropriate, where that would be a good fit. Maybe later, when I'm live on other services. If there is any demand for that, like, I couldn't even fucking give a straight face saying it. Okay, what was I talking about? Yeah, okay, so pacing is all off. There's hardly any fucking action in that game, by the way. There's like hardly any stealth. When there is stealth, it's over in like just a few minutes. Shooting in that game is over in 30 seconds usually. There is a lot of running around. There are a few mini hubs to explore. Tombs and what do they call them? Like minor tombs. Crypts and tombs are fine. Crypts and Tombs are pretty alright. I don't have really much to say against those. Some of them are not quite as good. You know, some of them are not quite as good as what we used to see, I believe, in what we saw in Rise of the Tomb Raider. Well, what, Mooch, are you now? Yeah, there he is. There might be something at the very back of his throat. Well, if it is something, it's a piece of hair. Like there cannot be anything else. I don't know. It doesn't happen like that. Things like that don't happen all that often. Yeah, so anyway, not a huge fan. Okay, Shadow of the Tomb Raider. There are a few hubs to explore-ish. And all things considered, it is a perfectly functionable game, but it is paced so weirdly between all these walk and talk segments where you have to play dress up, and when you start playing dress up, you cannot like change back. For almost the entire second half of the game, you don't have the control of Lara's appearance, despite like changing attires is actually being a part of the game, because attires are tied to your well, they have buffs now. I don't think in Rise any of the attires had buffs. I think they did, but they had like just one big thing for something. I mean, the entire getup would have some kind of buff, and it wouldn't be really that game-changing or anything. And in Shadow, it's a little bit more like purposeful. And I think even when the game does take your control away, you can still put like individual elements on the lower and the upper body, but those are just like random scraps. Like, yeah, the fucking attire crafting mechanic in Shadow of the Tomb Raider is so just unsatisfying. It's literally just random crap that Lara finds on the floor, on the ground, on the jungle floor, and she duct tapes it to her like forearms. Well, not forearms, sorry, to her sheens. And wait, is it sheen or a shin? It's a shin, I think. She duct tapes those things to herself, like, I don't know, like pieces of leather or whatever, you know, pieces of, like, I don't know, dead turtles or something for armor. You know, dead, like, turtle shells. And, like, the biggest thing she gets from, for her upper body is, like, literally, she puts, like, a dead bird on her back. It's just like a dead bird on her back with the wings like duct taped to her arms. So when she like spreads her arms, it's like the dead bird on her back spreads her arms too. She looks so bad. Like, what were you trying to do? Like, you like trying to like native max as fuck, Lara. Like, it doesn't need to be this way. Like, literally the best thing you can craft for yourself is something that you have to craft. It's something that Lara crafts for herself in the cutscene very early on in the game, and it's like a poncho made out of leopard, I think, or whatever. Are those things leopards, or are they like cougars, or are they like jungle tigers, whatever the fuck they're supposed to be? I'm sorry, I'm not very versed in like South American fauna, flora. I actually have never been to South America, and I hardly studied anything about it. But yeah, it's like that poncho, whatever the fuck. Have I never said it? I think it's Pancho, right? Pancho. It actually looks all right. But everything else you can craft, like cleaning that dead bird, it just looks so goofy. And what she duct tapes to her legs just looks ridiculous. It just looks like she has like fur, like, you know, like tall fur boots. Only instead of actually being like tall fur boots, it's literally just like scraps of fur and like dead leaves of the jungle floor that Lara decided to duct tape to her shins so that it offers protection or makes her more silent somehow. Like, yeah, I'll be so silent with this dead badger duct taped to my leg. You know, not even like you could like make a shoe out of a dead badger, you know, just like shove your leg inside a dead badger. Like, yeah, that's gonna make you more silent, maybe, you know, in certain very specific scenarios. But like, how is it going to, like a shin guard? How's a guard just on your, you know, like a kneecap guard? How's that gonna make you more silent? Or give you more experience with stealth kills? Like, yeah. So if you put those things back onto yourself, that actually resets the costume. But the problem, though, it resets you to the default costumes with those quote-unquote augmentations on top of it. So that look does get a little bit old eventually. And you look like such a trash, just like trash Lara. You know, with this like improvised bullshit duct tape to her. Like, you already have pants. Your pants are fine. Why do you need this piece of crap on top of you? Like, how does that make you, like, you know, more equipped, you know, to deal with the situations? Okay, anyway. So, yeah. Shooting is very unsatisfying. The story is all over the place. The pacing is all over the place. Which kind of results in you just not caring at all. And it gets boring, man. Dude, it gets like really boring. I absolutely had to force myself, and I am so lucky that by the time I felt like dropping the game and then I came back to finish it, I literally felt grateful for like me actually not being that far off, that far removed from the, you know, the ending. I was maybe, I mean, I obviously beelined the whole thing, but I was done with the exploration part pretty much anyway. Should I just fast forward through this ending of Wisp, the Atlantic? Okay, anyway. So yeah, totally not impressed at all. Well, actually, yeah, that's not true. I was impressed with the first hour of the game, maybe even 90 minutes, I could say. And it should be fair. Yeah, 90 minutes sounds about right. Yeah. Everything else, though, fuck it. No. So boring, so generic, very uninspired. Somehow they managed to screw up the perfectly fine stealth, you know, that was established over 2 games prior. They managed to screw up actually perfectly serviceable shooter from the previous game. And even the first game even has better shooting and stealth. Yeah. And I did talk about the first game not that long ago, because I did replay it, actually, believe it or not, recently. And yeah, oof, that game is bare bones. That game is very light. You know, that game is it's not particularly rich. It's not a dense game, okay? And you cannot sprint in that game, so you just lightly jog your way away from boulders and stuff like that. Like Lara doesn't even go into like a sped up animation to run faster when it's actually time to run fast. It's rather comedic. Yeah, well, anyway, third game rather, I should say. Yeah, they kind of managed to screw up everything. Although, also, by the way, I'm not entirely sure how they managed to do it. Probably something to do with lighting, shaders, everything, whatever. Maybe shaders even specifically, yeah, because I think it actually depends on the angle of the camera. But and you might say, well, real people in real life actually kind of behave like that also, or rather, you notice that in people in real life, and yeah. You do notice that. Sometimes you take a photo of someone and they just don't look like themselves. They look like they shape-shifted. You don't quite even look like yourself on this photo. Yeah, it does happen. But Lara, in the third game, it's just ridiculous. Especially, she kind of normalizes. I felt like as they kept making the game, they realized that it was happening and they kind of found ways to fix it. But especially in the opening couple of hours, Lara just doesn't look like herself at all. She doesn't look... Well, her model was already changed in Rise. And by the way, in the definitive edition of Tomb Raider 2013, they did change her face retroactively from the original 2013 face to the face from Rise. Those are pretty different faces, I must say. But then in 3, when you start the game, it looks like they changed her face again. Her nose looks way too thin. Her nose looks so small to me. And then over time, I was like, oh, no, that's Lara from Rise. Yeah, from this angle, that's 100% her. But then, boom, from that angle, she just doesn't look like herself at all. She looks like her face from certain angles, in certain shots, her face just looks way smaller. Her face is actually relatively kind of like rounded up. She has like a round-ish type of face. Well, not super round, but also she doesn't have like fallen in cheeks, super pronounced, features, chiseled, cheekbones and whatever. Like, no. She doesn't have features like that. Her face is relatively round up. And not as round as mine or anything like that. I don't mean it. It's just, I mean, her face doesn't look like, like she's been fasting the last 3 months, It doesn't. And yet, from certain angles and certain shots, it kind of does look like that. She looks like a different person. She looks like a different person, a much skinnier person. Her face, actually, in certain shots, looks almost exactly like... what's that character? I'm not sure if she's supposed to be Australian or British, but she's played by an Australian. She's played by Claudia Black. The Claudia Black character from Uncharted games. She kind of looks like her in certain shots. She looks like skinny Hispanic or maybe even like Indian-ish-y in certain shots. And then later towards the end of the game, the illusion dissolves. It no longer looks like that. She looks back like herself. She looks herself again. But especially early in the game, she does look like a different person from most angles in most shots. And then, yeah, I could clearly recognize, no, this is the face from Rise. Yes. 3 hours ago, it was like a nearly completely different person. Just something interesting to note. Because originally I thought, well, okay, they changed her face, so there's hardly anything to talk about, right? Regarding that fact. But no, they actually didn't. It's just that her face, for some reason, in half the shots looks like a different person. But so yeah, weird. Not sure what is happening. Maybe something to do with shader. some kind of optimization for the true hair technology. Maybe if you have that on or have it off, shaders behave differently. You know, the light is reflected differently or bounced off the skin differently, rather. Maybe, you know, and that basically that effectively changes the shape of the face that you're looking at. Maybe that's what's happening. I don't know. Could be. Oof. Okay, so I'm basically done here. It's time for me to go back to mixing the final track from the upcoming LP, actually. I even lost most of the energy in my voice. You may hear that I am talking significantly quieter now. I think I'm, yeah. There is technically, as though it fucking matters, right? There is technically one more thing I could talk about. That's Ninja Gaiden 4. That's the last game that I played. Instead of Kingdom Come Deliverance 2, which should have been the game I played. Instead of all of those. Because Uncharted 4, I ended up regretting, you know, wasting my time on it. Shadow of the Tomb Raider definitely regretted that as well. Not as much as Uncharted 4. Uncharted 4, I did not have a second of fun with that game. Well, okay, that's not entirely true. A few set pieces, that's the word I was looking for a while ago. A few set pieces were alright, I suppose, but I could live without them, you know. I've seen those. I've seen quite a few of those in my life. Like, I didn't need it. And I also didn't need another cover shooter. So, yeah, and Shadow of the Tomb Raider is just not particularly good in the first place and super redundant at worst, you know. Like, do you want to play a significantly, noticeably worse version of Rise of the Tomb Raider? Like, no. What's the point? Just play the first two games again, if you absolutely want to. Like, I would 100%. The first game is better than Shadow. Shadow is just so soulless, and I don't know how, but Eidos Montreal, they completely screwed it up. They just had no passion for that game at all. And I feel like there is no vision behind it either. And Ninja Gaiden 4 is just fucking platinum slop. It's not a character action game, really, because you hardly have any directional inputs. You can author combos in that game, technically, yes, but everything is so, like, I don't know, dude. A game like that without on-demand launcher and on-demand stinger, that's not a character action game for me. That's, no matter how complex you make it, that's just a God of War clone. You know, that's just a game where you mash buttons and your character does things, you know, differently depending on how you mash them. And yeah, they have the parry mechanic and the dodge mechanic. That's very Souls-like, yeah, I suppose. It's cool, actually. It does make bosses rather engaging. Bosses are fun. I had fun fighting almost all the bosses in that game. Fighting normal enemies, though, like, what's the point fighting? What's even the point fighting normal enemies? In Ninja Gaiden 4, I don't understand. It is so fucking repetitive. Mash, 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 dodge, finisher. Mash, mash, dodge, mash, 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 finisher. Mash, mash, finisher, mash, finisher, mash, mash, finisher, mash, finisher. Dodge, mash, 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 finisher. Like, that's it. It's very, very reminiscent and redundant, by the way, also, of Metal Gear Rising. Like, everyone loved Metal Gear Rising because the game was very flashy. Well, this game is much better than Metal Gear Rising at being Metal Gear Rising. Metal Gear Rising had very unsatisfying combat system for me. The kinetic feeling of that combat system was very low. Your blade was just going through enemies, just slicing through, like literally through their bodies, like it was made out of like a laser pointer or something. Yeah, they're taking damage. There's a little bit of blood effect, but they don't stagger, from being damaged, or hardly they do. Hardly they are. Very unsatisfying. And then you basically have to do the finisher for every single enemy that is identical for every single enemy. You just do the same thing over and over again, and that's the game. And a lot of people now, I did listen to a few critics, a few people that basically share all of my opinions on Ninja Gaiden 4. And funnily enough, those are the only people talking about Ninja Gaiden 4. Like, normies don't even talk about Ninja Gaiden 4. It's just, like, all the opinions on Ninja Gaiden 4 out there are, I am very disappointed. Those are all the opinions on Ninja Gaiden 4. By the way, normies, please stop saying Ninja Gaiden. Like, come on. Please. You don't say Katana, right? You know how to read it, right? You don't say Seikura, right? It's Gaiden, obviously. Guys, like, I don't understand why Americans cannot just read what's in front of them. They see that, oh, it's a word that's not English, so I'm just gonna randomly come up how to say it. Oh, it's Tenchu. It says Tenchu. Let me say, I don't know 100%, right, what word this is, so I'm gonna screw it up on purpose just to demonstrate how much I don't give a fuck about anything that isn't American. So I'm gonna purposely say Tenchi. Yeah, cool, dude. Thanks. Is it really that difficult to just say it properly? Okay. Anyway, they was like Shinobu. Is that how you say it? Yeah, of course, Shinobu. Yes. Pack it up. You did it. Anyway, I just want to wrap it up with Ninja Gaiden. Doesn't really matter. There's nothing to say about that game, okay? It's very repetitive. It's very mashy. Bosses are satisfying, yes. Bosses are pretty interesting. Some of those bosses, though, I killed way too quick. Way too quick, I killed those bosses. Because you can sometimes get very lucky with chaining parries or perfect blocks or perfect dodges, and then on top of that you can chain up and interrupt, and then with certain bosses then you can interrupt again and then interrupt again and then perfect dodge into a blood counter, and like 10 seconds later the boss just loses its first health bar. It actually did happen a few times. Never killed anyone on my first try, I believe. The most difficult boss was the very first one, absolutely. And did not use a single item in the game, especially including boss fights, until the horse dude. Because horse, the way you fight that flying horse thing, it suspends itself mid-air, mid-battle. Like almost every single boss in Ninja Gaiden 4, by the way, has some kind of mechanic that just makes it very unsatisfyingly unfair. But with that specific boss, I've just fucking had it. Ninja Gaiden 4 hardly has any fucking aerial combat. And it's just like way too annoying with him being there, suspended. And the camera is trash. You cannot see fucking him half the time. With bosses, you can at least lock on. But again, the funny thing is that people now... I remember what I was talking about. People, and it goes directly into what I was just saying a second ago. Because of how underwhelming and disappointing Ninja Gaiden 4 is, a lot of people criticizing it are now basically... they now put all of the Platinum games into the same basket, including Bayonetta. Dude, Bayonetta 1 was fucking amazing. It was a proper character action game. It is, in fact, one of the best games ever, and it is the easy easily the best character action game ever. If not the best game ever, right? Well, Bayonetta being the best game ever is more or less like a meme among the fans of Bayonetta, because we know that Bayonetta is not the best game ever. Like, there's so many stupid segments of it, but I'm a huge fan of Bayonetta, of course. For me, it is pretty much the best game ever. I would have loved it if it had less stupid fucking gimmicky segments, but yeah, it pretty much has the best combat of all time. And what do you know? It has manual lock-on, right? It has manual lock-on, and if you lock to somebody and then you want to relock onto someone else, if you accidentally lock to someone you didn't mean to lock to, first of all, hardly ever happens, ever, first of all. Second, if you want to relock, it's as easy as that. You just do it, you know? Sorry, Poopy, I didn't mean to wake you. And in Ninja Gaiden, you have automatic lock-on, which is trash. It's very reminiscent of something like DMC, like soft lock. And then you have a proper lock-on system, which is basically Souls-like combat system. You have to click the right stick for it to stick. And it is very, very, very inconsistent. And if you lock onto someone you didn't mean to lock onto, like, you're done. You're just done. You're not relocking onto anything even remotely what you actually wanted. You're not finding another target anytime soon. You're just done. Soft locking, not as good, because the game is made around soft locking. There's basically no directional input, right? And yeah, not a huge fan. Camera is trash also. Jesus Christ, just normal 3D camera with literally nothing. Nothing about that camera is even remotely trying to, distance itself from the action, give you like a wider perspective on things. And Bayonetta basically had a normal 3D camera, but once you went into the proper locked-on state, right, so that directional inputs could be actually done, so that you can actually play the combat system of Bayonetta, the camera assumed this like fucking role where it was to the side and slightly up, angling itself down so that you can see things around you. And yeah, enemies attack from behind the screen in Ninja Gaiden, which is more hardcore, I suppose, but a even better and more hardcore of a solution, or rather continuation of that decision, would have been to, well, then let's make the camera good, or at least have it half as good as something like Bayonetta. No, we'll have a camera that's not even that. We're gonna have camera that's absolute fucking trash, regular 3D camera that you cannot see shit with when our enemies are all over you. And we're gonna have literally fucking like behind you danger indicator from God of War 2018. Like, you might as well have like exclamation mark lighting up, lighting over your character when there is a time to dodge, like a Batman style, only instead of like a Y or a triangle appearing over the enemy that you need to parry right now. It appears above you, so that I need to press dodge right now, or I'll eat it. You might as well just do that. It just feels so bad with that stupid like threat indicator, because it's just a direct signal, right? It is a literal direct signal. Yeah, we don't know how to make the camera work. Yeah, we don't have any camera solutions to this game that we've made. So uninspired. The game is also cheap as fuck because it's Platinum. Platinum doesn't make games like Platinum makes shovelware now, shovelware for hire. You know, like Babylon bullshit, or like Transformers bullshit, or Legend of Korra, you know, shovelware, or Babylon's fucking Fall shovelware, Babylon's Fallware. You know, Platinum obviously doesn't have level designers anymore, because levels in Ninja Gaiden 4 are actually embarrassing. Even normies say, like, I have no idea what the fuck is this even. It's just a hallway. Every single level in Ninja Gaiden 4 is just a wide as fuck hallway. I mean, I understand why they're wide as fuck. It would have been very appropriate for a character action game. For Button Masher, though, it actually doesn't matter for them being that wide. I think they're way too wide, really. They might as well have been more compact, which would have actually felt better, because environments would have felt more realistic. Inside, they felt all very just fakely wide, almost entirely empty. Frame rate does dip periodically, by the way. So the game doesn't even look that good, but the frame rate does dip for sure. So that's nice. And yeah, it's just hallways. It's just empty, wide as fuck hallways the entire game. It's embarrassing. Like, honestly, if you were to make a game like that, don't call it Ninja Gaiden 4. And I'm pretty sure, by the way, they literally had that game probably, like, done already. They most likely already had that game done. And they were going to ship it as a small, tiny, 6-hour-long game by Platinum, you know, that's called, like, I don't know, Neon Blade or something like that. There's probably already 15 games called that out there, but I'm just saying, you know, it was probably going to be something like that. And then, you know, Team Ninja approached them and said, actually, guys, would you mind making us a Ninja Gaiden game, because we're too busy with another phoned-in Neo game, so could you please do it for us? And they're like, well, actually, we have quite a game that you could, if you really, really wanted to, just call Ninja Gaiden 4 and release it. Would you guys take it? And they did. And because if this was like a $30 game, maybe even 40, some people would have paid for it. By Platinum, that's like 6 to 10 hours long. It's very small, very tiny one, just like their shovelware, tie-in IP, you know, whatever promotional bullshit they do. I think people would have, it would have been a good fit for something like that, you know, for something that you call basically like it's basically like a glorified indie game at that point, right? Yeah, I think people would have accepted it, but it's not a AAA game. Definitely not a AAA game. It literally doesn't have level design. Like, what the hell is this even? It's like, do you remember fucking Devil Within mode from Tekken 5? Can you imagine that being like a standalone $60 game, let alone $70 or $80 game? Well, that's what Ninja Gaiden is in terms of level design. It's just like, what the fuck have you shipped, Platinum? Like, I don't know. I mean, I do realize if your assumption is that your fans only care about combat, okay, maybe, but it's a Ninja Gaiden game. Like, you couldn't bother with level design at all, because we're Platinum. We only do fighting. We only do combat systems. We are Platinum. You only do shovelware, first of all, not combat systems even anymore. Every single of your shovelware, you know, pseudo hack and slash non-character action game has the same combat system anyway. You basically have like some kind of pre-done, pre-made, prefab, you know, modular combat system that you just keep copying and pasting into all the games you make, quote-unquote games. And like Babylon Fall is not a real game, right? Like, is that a real Platinum game? Like, what are you talking about? So yeah, I'm not particularly impressed with the current state of Platinum, i.e. we do shovelware for hire. And Ninja Gaiden 4 is unfortunately just like everything else that Platinum has done in the last, basically ever since Bayonetta 3. Bayonetta 3, basically Bayonetta 1, because Bayonetta 2 also wasn't a character action game, it was a God of War-like. And Bayo 3, I need to play it one of those days, but like, it's a Switch exclusive. Why? It's gonna be some time. Maybe it's absolutely fantastic, I don't know. But then, if it is, it would have been literally like the only non-shovelware game that Platinum has done basically since Bayonetta 2. And then Bayonetta 2, they also kind of dropped the ball, really. If you're a fan of Bayo 1, like, Bayo 2 is not a game for you. Bayo 2 is the game for fans of God of War. So, yeah. Oh, and also, the whole fucking Vaporwave, the Vaporwave aesthetic of Ninja Gaiden 4. Guys, the year is 2025. Well, the year was 2025. Vaporwave in 2025? Like pseudo cyberpunk vaporwave, like, really? And then the rest of the music is this like stupid punk metal, like new metal type of trash, like Rules of Nature style Metal Gear Revenger. And it's just so bad and so annoying too. Like, my ears were bleeding. I turned the music off after the first boss because I just couldn't hear. Maybe not the first boss. On one of the bosses, I turned the music off. It might have been the first one, but I'm not sure. It might have been one of the later ones. Towards the middle of the game, I basically turned the music off because, yeah, just restarting. The music restarts every time you restart the boss, right? It sure is just like, no, I'm getting tired of that shit. And yeah, from the half point of the game, I was just rushing. I was just running through everything I could run through. And you could run through most of the, not most, but 60% of the time, it works every time. You can run through a lot of the encounters. You can just sprint through them. Some you have to fight, but a lot you can sprint through. And I absolutely did that just because, my God, I don't understand how Platinum thinks this is like acceptable. How Tecmo, Koei, think this is acceptable. How Team Ninja think this is acceptable. Did I say Ninja Theory before, by the way? If I said Ninja, I meant Team Ninja, of course. Ninja Theory is the company from the UK who made DMC and Heavenly Sword. And now they make cinematic experiences. Loosely inspired by, very obviously, God of War 2018. So yeah, those were all the video games I have played and have not talked about quite yet. That's my very unfortunate, experience, video gaming experience with the during the Christmas break, which wasn't really even all that big of a break. I was legitimately hoping to play a lot of the stuff, and yeah, if I actually went like video gaming mode full time, I would have, but unfortunately I didn't. I was also trying to combine it with doing other things, and only played 3 of the games. Yeah, I should have just played Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 the entire time. Absolutely, I should have, but I didn't. Okay, I'm not sure when I'll go live next time. Could be tomorrow, but I'm definitely done for now. Need to use the bathroom, first of all. Second, I'm pretty much done here. Working on what I used to work, I now need to go offline to keep working. Okay, do I have access to any kind of chat here? Okay, for some reason I cannot see the chat. The open panel for the chat button for me is closed off, or whatever. It's grayed out. Okay. Sorry, cannot see the chat. Let's see if I can open it in the creator's dashboard. I really need to use the bathroom, though. I really do. Warning, your stream current bitrate is lower than the recommended bitrate. Of course it is. Okay, I see that no answers, no questions were asked or anything. Okay, guys, thanks for dropping by. Regardless, thanks for saying hi, peeps in the chat. Hi to you back, and maybe back tomorrow with the same type of thing. Although tomorrow, if I keep doing this, I have no idea what I'll be talking about. But yeah, okay, guys, bye bye.